Don't worry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show again today. My name is Iyke Okoro. Friends call me Ike, and you can call me Ike too. This is another episode of BIGGISH SHOW. I welcome you to another scintillating episode of the show. I'm ready for it, and I know you are ready today again to join me. I welcome all of you to begin to join right now before our guest comes in. It's going to be a wonderful ride on the show again today. We've been having, in past episodes of this show, feedback has been coming from here and there about how people say they've been getting a lot of information, a lot of ideas, a lot of motivation and inspiration, and it encourages us to go further. Today is not going to be a different situation. It's going to be a wonderful day again today, and I welcome you to be part of it. Start joining right now so that we'll have a very, very good time. Yes. This is BIGGISH SHOW, like I say, and it's a platform where we get big shots to come have big talk that gives you motivation, talks that gives you inspiration, talks that gives you ideas on how to do things, on how to navigate personal and professional life. That's what we do here. And today is not going to be any different. It's a loaded package again today. I'm ready to serve you another good episode today. I have a guest as usual. My guest will be joining us very soon. When she joins us, as soon as it comes online, we're going to connect to her and we're going to go right into the discussion for today. It's a beautiful day out there. It's sunny, it's bright. There are no rains today. The weather is clement. The weather is very, very good. And, everything is so bright and clear. And audio is nice. Everything is nice. And I welcome you to just, let's go into it today. Yeah. Thank you, Maureen, for joining. I thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you. It's going to be a wonderful time today, like I said again. This is BIGGISH SHOW, where we have big shots come talk, big talk. Yeah, thank you very, very much for joining. I want to encourage you to begin to join right now, begin to join from everywhere before our guests, come, so that you can be right in time to hear everything. It's so beautiful today. Our guest is right here. It's going to be a big one. All right, I'm going to, yes. Wow. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Adenike.
Hi.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
Good. You were quite early. That's good. That's good. Quite early.
No, but we already said 3 p.m. So
I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you
see me
for
clearly?
I can see you. I can see you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can see you. Yeah. Your frame is good. Your frame is good right now. Aha.
Okay.
And can you hear me? I can hear you well.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. I want to welcome you, Adenike. It's take some water. You need it. We're going to do a lot of talking, so you need some water. Yeah. Welcome. Well, I just want to formally welcome you today to this show. It's an honor to have you here, and I believe that
Wow.
it's an honor. I appreciate you, for making it. Thank you very much. How excited are you today?
I am excited. I ate very sweet jollof rice like a few hours ago, so that's still rumbling in my tongue.
Okay. Okay. That's a good. we need to get it clearer. The picture is a bit jumpy. I don't know.
Hold on. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Just don't
Okay,
worry.
okay. I'll wait. Okay, I'll wait.
Is this better? Is this okay?
It is. It is better now. It's
Okay.
better. In fact, you're clear. I can see you clearer. Yeah,
Awesome.
better now.
Awesome.
Better now.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Wow.
Okay, so I
All
was
right.
saying that
Mm-hmm.
um, I had jollof rice earlier today, so
Okay.
I'm very well.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's good. Nigerian jollof rice, I believe.
It's Nigerian jollof rice.
No, because thank you so much. Well, I want to use this opportunity to welcome all those who have joined right now. Yes, as you're joining in, I want to thank you for joining. You're right in time because my guest is already here, and so that you will not miss anything, any part of this show today. I just want to just say this before we start. Well, you have heard, I mean, I'm talking to people out there right now that we hear, people say, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. But I have a Nigerian brother who remixed that recently, who said, if life gives you pepper, make some pepper soup and enjoy it. So that's a remix kind of that saying, and I want to say to everyone out there, I have a guest in the house today who has sort of turned her lemons into lemonade. And we're going to be getting into that very, very, very soon. And you're going to be on, you will get to understand what all that means. Adenike, I just want to welcome you. We're going to go right into it so that we can maximize our time. Are you ready?
I
Okay.
am. I
Yeah,
am.
fine. So I just want to say, let's start by saying, tell me, what was your home, the home you grew up in, what was it like? Let me frame it, let's say between the ages of 11 to 16, what was your home like? What was growing up like for you?
11 to 16. 11, that is secondary school, and then 16. Yeah, so that's secondary school. Well, growing up for me was pretty much easy breezy because I'm an only child of both my parents. So, predominantly, I didn't have any siblings to roll with. I was always the one who will always want to go to someone's house to hang out with them. I had these family friends who used to stay in 1004 because I was born and grew up in Ikoyi, so it wasn't so far.
Okay.
So I had gotten used to all of that up until I turned 10, 11 when it was time to go to secondary school. And then going to secondary school literally meant that life was going to change drastically. And that reality hits differently when you've been playing all your life and then you see your first term results and you're like, I did not do so well, or so that whole change was kind of like a different phase to deal with. But by the second term, as with almost everyone, I started to get used to that reality that secondary school was not a joke. And for that, I became a little serious. So I was a day student. I went to Queen's College. I was a day student. And then by the GSS2, GSS3, after my junior WAEC examinations, we started to hear that, my mom and I started to hear that it's like my daddy wants to resign from, civil service because he was a civil servant. And eventually he did resign. And before I left secondary school, we had to vacate the official quarters because we were staying in the official quarters of the federal government. And staying in the official quarters meant that upon his retirement, we had just a window within which we had to vacate the property. We actually did vacate the property eventually, but we had to move into a property where they had not built. They had bought the lands, they had started to build, but they just neglected for a while. And eventually, year 2000, the new millennium, my father and I knew that we wanted to stay in that place. So we had to spend the new, we had to spend the new year in the new place. And the new place was literally empty. There were no windows. There was no functioning water system at that time. Nothing was working, but I knew that I wanted to be there. And my father knew that he we wanted to stay there. So we moved together to the property, but my mom said she wasn't coming, so she was still in the staff quarter. And eventually, of course, she had to vacate the staff quarter, and we then started staying in Badore, where I stayed. But because of distance, secondary school was in Yaba, home was in Badore, I had to move to boarding house. And I moved to boarding house in SS1. And then I became a boarder, and it was a complete reality, but it was a reality that I had been longing for. I just wanted to know how, boarding house was. I wanted to experience boarding house. I had friends, my classmates were there. A very good friend of mine had also, gotten to boarding house, and we then, decided that, oh, okay, how about we just go into boarding house? So boarding house was where I eventually ended up in SS1 and then SS2 and SS3 getting ready. But that's academically. On the home front, my father and my mother were still very much married as they are. They still are married. I think it's their 37th or 38th year of marriage. I am their only child. Yes, I am their only child. So my mom was running a business. My father had just newly retired from, civil service. Of course, my father had me when he was what we term older, before we used to say late. So my father had me when he was, I think he was 40 or so when he had me, or 41 or something, his first child. So the realities are completely different for a man, as the case may be. Friendships, I've always been someone who's big on friendships. I've always been someone who is driven by friendships. Friendships drive me. I am one person who is loyal, and that one true loyal friend. Yes, I never used to take credit for it, but I am a loyal friend. I am, so I have friendships. I still have friendships from secondary school that were still very, very good friends. We're still very, very good friends. We're boys, nah, I don't, because I went to a same-sex school. I went to an all-female secondary school. I did not get the liberty to interact with the opposite sex in school. However, at home, I was the one who was friends with all the boys in the area. I was the one who everybody just wanted to be friends with. So yeah. God. Well, on the religion part of things. So I was born into a Muslim home. So I'd always used to go to mosque growing up with my father, but then I started to go to church, and then I continued to go to church. And it just felt like church was more where I wanted to go to than the mosque, because I didn't even know anything about Islam, as the case may be. So yeah.
Wow.
So I think that's about it.
That's a good opener for this conversation. Lovely, lovely prologue. Wonderful. I just want to ask you, I'm curious to know, before we dive before we dive deeper into this conversation, when you were a kid, what were the fantasies you have? What kind of dreams did you have as a child of what you want to be when you grow up? Those kind of things. What can you remember?
Okay. Okay, I'll start with the marriage part. Quite often you will see when people get married, you see women say, I've dreamt about this all my life. I've always wanted to walk down the aisle. I always wanted to wear a princess dress. I always wanted, I never had all of that. I never dreamt of walking down any aisle, never dreamt of wearing any princess dress. I'd always known I was going to get married, and I suspect that because my parents just went to the registry, so maybe it had an impression in my heart. I would participate with my friends and my loved ones. I will buy you Ashwebi if we're really cool. On the relationship standpoint, I didn't have any fantasies per se. Growing up, I didn't have any fantasy of tall, dark, and handsome. Oh, we'll stay on the yacht, we'll have our children. Nah, I didn't have any of that. I think that with exposure, honestly, maybe university and the fact that I started, love, relating with the opposite sex, I think that might have influenced my supposed fantasies when it comes to the opposite sex, and then having a family or raising kids or whatever it is. I am not a traditional person. I'm very open to many variations of many things. And I know that that means many things to many people, but it's okay. On the, what's it called? Career. I just always wanted to be a lawyer, but I did not fantasize becoming a lawyer or practicing or see myself becoming a judge. But I think that one thing that, continues, one thing that
All right.
one thing that continues to stay with me is the fact that I've always wanted to be in politics. And I completely forgot until yesterday. I hung out with a few friends at a book launch, and I'm like,
Well,
so politics has been a fantasy of some sort for me. And I'm not sure how that is going to play out. And because I'm not an active member of a political party, I am a card-carrying member of a political party, but I am not an active member of a political party. Politics excites me. Government and governance excites me. I'm always intrigued. So I'm in that space where I'm asking myself, and I know it's not civil service work. I'm not talking civil service working with government, because I served in Alausa, and the Secretariat, Lagos State, and I'm very clear and certain it is not that type of politics or government involvement that I think policy making is where those people that change things, the people who argue things, the people who want to transform lives, the people who want to make the environment better for other people. I believe very strongly that has always excited me as a kid. I would have memories of my father share with me. I've always been very, very involved in the electioneering process because my parents are politicians as well. So I got that early exposure to what it means to see people get elected, see people demand accountability, see people, what's it called? The average Nigerian believes that their money is with the government officials. So I also understand that narrative. So yeah, basically. Hello to everybody saying hello.
Hello, yeah. Okay, so that's a good one. I want to go back a bit to. So you went to Queen's College, the prestigious Queen's College. Yeah, the prestigious. I mean. So what are the memories you remember of Queen's College? Tell us.
Wow, my fondest memory. Hello, Ada. Hello, Yetunde. Hello, Alex. So many people. My fondest memory from Queen's College has to do with food. They used to sell this stick meat in our gym then, and I'm not proud of it, but I found myself stealing money from home to buy stick meat from the gym.
It's okay.
And then
It's okay to share. No problem.
there was what's it called? There was this eatery at the back gate of school called Flavor. They used to sell this amazing shawarma. So I think QC, apart from my friends, and the first thing that comes to my mind are those two things. Well, I have a teacher from Queen's College who is still very, very involved in my life. And Mr. Ademosho, who was our agriculture teacher, is still very, very, very actively involved in my life. Like he's still present in my life.
Wow.
And I did that by choice. So, I think Mr. Ademosho has to be one of my takeouts from my Queen's College experience. And Queen's College exposed me to such a wide variation of people who were from homes of civil servants like I was, people who were from homes where you had technocrats, politicians, entrepreneurs. So Queen's College was a level playing field, which is what hurts me now, because as a past student from Queen's College, as it is now, I unfortunately do not see myself sending my kids to Queen's College because of several factors. So I'm hoping that by the time I start to have children who get to secondary school age, for people who remain in Nigeria who want to take their children to Queen's College, we can provide them with that opportunity to, of a level playing field. We had federal government colleges or, secondary schools where children from the very rich homes and children from the average homes and children from the low income homes would always go, and it was a very, very amazing level playing field. So I think that's one of my fondest memories. The people I met in Queen's College, the network that I created from Queen's College the food. Incidentally, I went to have my nails done yesterday, and as I walked into the place, someone was having her hair washed, and I just said, I know you. You went to Queen's College. And she smiled. I mentioned my year. I said, yes, I was a senior by 2 years. I said, I remember very well. So, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful memory. Now, we're going to, we need to maximize time because there's a whole lot to talk about, really. And people are so expectant. I mean, there are some questions that if I do not ask, people will not forgive me. So we're going to dive right into it.
Okay.
At the age of 20, so life happened. You know, you suddenly, you had a fall, you were diagnosed of cancer, and then, you know, amputation. I want to allow you here to just take us through that journey, how the whole thing started. Yeah, that's the core, that's the crux of this whole discussion. Take us, you know, just as much as possible, you know, because I know it's going to be lengthy, but as much as possible, not leaving out the essentials, you know, from that story.
Oh, wow. Hello, LV. How did it happen? I think that you started off by saying, yes, I was 20, yes, there was a domestic fall, and boom, I got up and then I went to school. And I got to school a few days later, I couldn't get out of bed. And eventually I had to be taken to the hospital where I was told that it was owing to the fall that I had a blood clot of some sort, and they had to have a minor drainage to take out the blood. I went back to school. I wasn't getting better. Then I had to have a major drainage. Then I went back to school and then started to deteriorate. And then I was referred to the National Orthopedic Hospital. And there I got the cancer diagnosis, which we refused as a family. And then we started to move from one place to the other, and eventually found myself at the University College Hospital, UCH in Ibadan, where I had had the amputation and chemotherapy courses done. And yeah, I think that's really how it happened. So yeah.
I just wanted to, you know, just a quick one here. When the whole episode happened, you know, emotionally, psychologically, describe what your feeling was like, emotionally and psychologically, when the incident happened, when you were going through all of that.
Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a happy person. You know, I'm still a happy person. And this year alone, I've had 2 major surgeries, and I'm still happy. You know, it is just who I am. It's my disposition to life, and I suspect very strongly that it has to do with DNA. Yes, DNA, because my father, this is who I am. My father is who I am. I'm literally a reflection of my father in terms of disposition to life. But also the intentionality of staying, you know, afloat is something that I am having to learn to build through the years. In 14 years, I lost a limb, and just yesterday when I was entering my apartment, just yesterday, I made an attempt at dusting both my legs. I almost like fell down because I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, how much longer does my brain need to register? I literally almost tripped just last night. I got home at almost, you know, 5 years today, and that was what happened. So it's my disposition to life. It's how I choose to see the world and the things that I go through. I see the world in an interesting lens. I'm very, very positive. I am such a positive and optimistic person that it comes to me so naturally. So if I'm pessimist, you know that I have literally been pushed to the wall and there's been no other way, or there have been one too many instances where it is what it is. So by nature, I am a happy person. You know, yeah, basically, see, my sister is writing happy girl in the comments. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. There's this. Wow. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. We appreciate you. Okay. There's this. So I got hints of, you know, something, which was when, you know, it was the news was broken to you, and you know, mommy and daddy, about how it was cancer and you will need a surgery. There's a quote that is credited to you. I mean, something you said that I called up somewhere, and I just wanted to dwell on that a bit. So I want to read it from here. You said, that the doctor broke the news without any iota of empathy or sympathy. What was that? I mean, explain that to us.
Okay, so I'm an empath by nature. So I think that people who are happy, who are grateful, people who are optimistic are naturally predisposed to empathy. It comes very naturally. For people who know me, they know that I carry other people's matter on my head. It is just who I am. So to have to go through an experience where a doctor is narrating to a 20-year-old in a sophomore year that she has cancer and the way out is to amputate the leg without any semblance of emotions, it's still one of the most intriguing experiences I've ever had as a human. And I am still very thankful to God that not only do I not remember the doctor's name, I also do not remember his face. And I am very excited I do not remember either, because I really do not know how I would relate with the person. Not like I may have met the person, past 14 years, but human nature is very funny. So it's a good thing I do not remember who this person is. So because that is who I am, I used to be taken aback when I see people who do not know how to show emotions, people who are loose with their mouths, people who do not know how to refrain, people who lack, discipline. I would always cringe and wonder, how is this possible? How do you just break a news of this nature? And I have used that tool to learn how to relate with more people in the last 14 years of my life. I may not be a perfect person, as we all should know. I am not claiming perfection, but I know for a certainty that without a doubt, that experience has exposed me to a measure of empathy that I never knew that existed on my inside. It just feels like there's a well on my inside that that particular doctor's experience has just opened up, and I am not relenting on it. It is who I am. When I leave the world, I want one person to say, I want one person to say, oh my God, when I shared my story with her, she reached out to everyone she thought she could reach out to. She did this, she did that. That is what humanity is about for me. I am such a humanity-driven person. And yeah, so that experience, again, I don't know if in Nigerian hospitals or they teach them harshness. The nurses are so harsh. The doctors are harsh. They don't have compassion. They are just anyhow. Yeah. This Tinuke is saying that I may have a word with, and I won't have a word with them. We'll just send people up to go and beat up the doctor.
Yeah, wow. So Adenike, I want you to use this opportunity to sort of speak, just say something to doctors out there, doctors and nurses and all of that. I mean, yeah, because we need to do this. Because some of them do not.
There's a doctor who is watching, but she's not a doctor practicing in Nigeria. Unfortunately, she's based in Haiti, in Atlanta, Georgia. I think that I understand. No, let me choose my words again. I do not understand what it means to work as a medical personnel in Nigeria. I only see through what we see in the media or everyday interactions when I go to the hospital. It is hard to practice anything in Nigeria, let alone be a doctor or any medical personnel. They are not provided with the adequate tools. It is what it is. But it would be very foolhardy of us to believe that we did not know even before they qualified as professionals to start to practice. So those realities must have been very obvious to them, but they still went ahead to undergo studies and then become professionals. So if you knew that all of these things existed, if you knew that the environment wasn't conducive to, for practice as a doctor, as a nurse, as an anesthesiologist, whatever it is that you are, whether it is a gynecologist, a pediatrician, whatever it is that you are, it is very, very wicked of you to take out your frustrations on your patients. And what this does is it cuts across every single one of us. At every point in time, we do not know how to differentiate and compartmentalize our emotions, such that me, who is a baker, is taking out the frustration the delivery guy is having to deliver, cake to another person on you, who just wants to make inquiries about baking. So, and these are things that I found out earlier on, that our parents, generation of baby boomers, we fault them easily because they will come back home from work and did not know how to separate their jobs from their homes, and did not understand how to compartmentalize their emotions. So this is what has translated even to the medical professionals here in Nigeria. And until we start to identify, how difficult it is to practice in a place like, it is crazy. In the last 6 months, they have gone on strike so many times, and the average Nigerian will say, but I think you swore to take care of lives. I cannot take care of your life if I do not even have hazard allowance. It sounds as little as 10, 15, 20,000, but guess what? Once I get it consistently through the months, it helps me. I have a family that I'm to cater for. I have a family that I want to care for. These medical professionals have children in private universities. Why? Because they do not want their children to go through the experiences that they went through. So it's a circle. It is a circle all over, and we're failing to realize that the fact that you are inhumane to me, I will not justify it, but I have also understood that you have issues that you're having to deal with, and until we address the issues, you cannot function even as emotionally intelligently as you should. So I only hope that medical professionals understand that all of us in Nigeria are carrying one burden or the other, but that at the point where you think that you have a short fuse like Femi Fani-Kayode with your patients, I believe in realism. I believe in telling your patient, can I take 5 minutes, that I am not in a good... I don't know why people think that medical professionals are not human, that they need time out. Tell your patients, I need 5 minutes of time out to just catch your breath. I think that once you tell me that as a patient, I appreciate you and honor you. Why? Because if I don't give you 5 minutes of time out, when you want to shoot me the injection in my bum bum, I will have abscess.
That's
Honestly,
it. That's it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That came out quite. I mean, that's huge. That's like a thesis, really. And I mean, I'm well said, really. Well said. Thank you so much. I just want to go back a little bit. There's this other issue that borders on families. So I read something that when this incident happened to you, like, they always would do, well-meaning family members will begin to suggest what they think it is. So I read that, so when this issue happened to you, a number of family members thought it was spiritual or maybe esoteric. Basically it was spiritual.
Anything that doesn't have explanation is spiritual.
It's spiritual. So, and the angle to it is that because they thought it was spiritual, and they suggested, to go, look for options of treatment,
I'm waiting for you to
explain that. So, the one I read that, So, how did that, going to Trado Babalawo, for instance, how did you feel?
I've been waiting for you to mention it.
So, how did you
feel? I think that when I hear people who find it strange, I think that they're dishonest, and I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Where do we live? We live in Africa. We have so many beliefs. We have so many religious practices. Yes, on paper, it's either Christianity or Islam, but you and I know that there are 1,001 practices here in Nigeria alone. Somebody is worshipping their pyro, somebody is worshipping. They believe it is worked for them, that's their business. And because of that, we see that we have exposed ourselves to our traditional beliefs from even before Christianity was introduced. Everybody talks about the introduction of Christianity, but I have never heard anybody talk about the introduction of Islam. And I'm still waiting for someone who knows what it is. I've never ever taken time out to understand how it began or when it came to Africa as a whole. That aside, because of our location and because of culture and environment, the moment they saw that this thing was inexplainable to science and it was defying solutions. The best thing was to do, oh, how about we go the traditional route? We did go the traditional route, I'll be honest with you. And I promise you that that I don't believe in it doesn't mean people don't believe in it. I'll be very frank with you. But the reality is, for me, in my case, it did not work. And for that reason, until I see someone who has empirical evidence that it works, I completely will say, because it did not work for me, it does not exist. I went the full length, that the whole 9 yards, and the whole 9 yards, what we see in Nigerian movies. Everything that we see in Nigerian movies, go here, buy this, wear this person is the one behind you, this person is the one after you, this person is the one that caused it. And, I would have thought that it was something of the past. Incidentally, just a few days ago, someone very close to me also did mention that something had happened, and then they have told her that, it's an arrow. And I almost shouted on the phone, like, are you kidding me? We're in 2020 and you still believe in all this BS? But I found out that it is only through love that I can listen to this person to say, okay, if you believe that this is what it is there a solution? Because if I say I believe in Muhammad, for instance, I would have proof to show you that Muhammad is real. He's a real person to me, and we communicate. And because we communicate and he's a supreme being, if I have issues, there's a presupposition that if I share with Muhammad, solutions will come. Howbeit, not the way that I may expect, but the truth is it will still come. And because we had gone the Christian route, we had gone the Muslim route, we decided to go the Babalawo route, nothing happened. I was getting worse, I was dying. I literally was dying, and I kid you, I will occasionally see the pictures and just cringe, like, wow, look, I looked like a skeleton, that thing that we used to use in biology lab in secondary school. That's exactly how skinny I was. That's exactly how skinny I was. And, sometimes I would occasionally go back in my thoughts and remember, oh my God, this is amazing to see that this is now me that is complaining of weight gain. So all of those things did not work. Drink this, go here, do this, pass here, who did what? And I think that one of the most ludicrous things I got asked was, who did you give your footwear to? And, I'm like, I don't get it. There are 1,000,001 reasons of people who could have taken any of my footwear. So if you claim that you have a supreme power, your supreme power should be able to show you which one person particularly took my footwear, and according to you has put something there. But all the places, and I mean all, we went to like 3 or 4, or maybe even 5. All they brought were fear. So maybe somebody did this. Okay, so can't you find out who did it? When did the person do it? Why did the person do it? And then there will be no answers. And for that reason, I just said, you know what? I'd rather you just take me home, because it was getting worse in my head. It was getting worse logically. There was no logicality to it any longer. The Christianity that I had been practicing, you understand? Christianity I had been practicing. I know that if I go see Jesus in real life, I still believe in my heart. It is a feeling in my heart that Jesus is real. And with, at that point, though I didn't understand what it meant, I could appreciate the fact that I was alive. But I didn't get that a part of the reason why I was alive was simply because Jesus kept me alive. Because honestly speaking, none of those things work. At least in my own case, it did not work.
Okay.
Adenike is saying their power did not reach. Please go ahead.
Well, that's interesting. So I just wanted to, at this juncture, I want to ask you, from what you're saying now, faith has been like a strengthener for you. Faith has been like, fine. So I want to ask you, when did faith, was it in secondary school? Was it after the surgery? When did your faith become so? When did it matter to you as what you relied on, up to now?
That's a good question. I think that my faith mattered to me from the moment I started to go when I was 5, when they were giving me Ribena and jollof rice. And I'm being honest. People laugh when I say this, but that was where my faith and the importance of my faith in the Christian walk started to build trust. And what I mean by that was, My family friends had told me categorically that they give them jollof rice and rice. I went to their church with them. We got there, nobody connived, nobody tricked us. I got the jollof rice and I got the rice. Guess what? Growing up as children, a lot of parents, guardians, and caregivers have found a way of tricking children such that we fail to realize that we build issues of trust. So because I was skeptical about receiving these things when I went to Ikoyi Baptist Church, I got to Ikoyi Baptist Church and I got them. I'm like, these people seem like they're honest. They're an authentic group of people. And that was it. I continued to go, and I used to go for midweek service. And every midweek service would always have an amazing and very, very detailed children's unit where they took the Bible and broke the stories down, you know, in simplistic, realistic, and pictorial ways. I still have very, very clear memories of the persons who taught us every single Bible lesson that they taught me when I was going to Ikoyi Baptist Church.
Wow.
So from that moment, my journey and belief in this Christian walk actually did start. Remember, I was born into a Muslim home, so it still meant that I would occasionally pray with my father during Salah. My father, though a Muslim, is not a staunch Muslim, will not go out of his way to observe the 5 prayers when he was out. But when he will come back home, he always had a compilation of all the prayer time. I remember very well. And I just liked it. I just liked to sit around him. He will pray and I'll just be by his side, you know, just reading a book or just being a nuisance, whatever it was I was doing. And that established my journey in Christianity. Why? Because even the practice of Islam that I had seen, I didn't see a relatability in comparison to what I was experiencing going to church. And that completely was a good reason why I stuck, honestly speaking, a good reason why I stuck with Christianity. Honestly, Olubumi, Obadan, I completely agree, and I always say, that's why I mention Ikoyi Baptist Church every single time I get asked this question, because it shaped me from age 5. I continued to go, and guess what? Every summer they always had a summer class, and not only were they teaching us Bible, they were teaching us academic work. Like, so my parents did not have a reason why I shouldn't go to Ikoyi Baptist Church summer school. We always used to go for 3 weeks. We will go, they would teach us our math, our English, whatever it was we were being taught in school, and afterwards or before, they would teach us Bible. We had competition. So it was a holistic, whatever it is that introduced that education style at Ikoyi Baptist Church. Oh my goodness, a person deserves awards. So yeah, that's how my faith started and has continued, you know, to being
to serve
my
you
guide.
up to now.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one. So that really brings, you know, to the fore, you know, the foundation. When you have a good foundation for a child,
Absolutely.
what it does, you know, you can imagine as if God knew you go through this, and you know that foundation was given to you. So he's not sorry. I mean, let me rephrase that.
Oh yeah. I understand what you're saying. I completely
God knew, you know, you go through this, and he allowed you to be fed with the word, you know, to have that foundation, you know, wholesomely, as it were. Time is fast spent, and there's a lot to ask. But the thing is, I want to say here that we'll have to come again.
Yes, it was Pastor Lawal at his glasses.
Okay.
I remember him. Hey, God.
Okay.
Lucky. So that means I've known you since this life is a pot of beans. Please go ahead.
Okay, so Adenike, interestingly, right now, you know, you are a broadcaster, you are an author. Let's talk about your book right away. Let's just in few seconds, let's talk about your book, Adenike, the self-styled memoir. Talk about it.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. So it's just saying Vacation Bible School. That's exactly what it was. Thank you very much, Tola Pro Voice. Okay, so the book, I think that the book is just my summation up until 2019, what that journey has been. Growing up, living an only child, you know, who I am daily becoming, touched on faith, touched on friendships. I'm such a stickler for friendships. I'm one person who understands the role of vulnerability. Remy says, the book made me cry rivers, lakes, and oceans. People say it makes them cry. Understandably, So yeah, the book is a book about vulnerability, and through my experience, I've learned that people earn my vulnerability as I do theirs. So it's a book that just chronicles who I am, who I've become, what tools I have used, the people who have been instrumental to it. I'm very big on name calling. If you know me very well, I'm very, very big on name calling. I call people by their full names. I call people because it is who it is you have told the world you want to be identified by or through. So I'm one person who touched on that. I touched on relationships, opposite sex, same sex. I touched on relationships at the workplace. So it's a book about strength. It's a book about living with amputation, disability, as the case may be. And it's interesting how much has happened from that point up until now. And so, yeah, I think that summarizes what Adenike is about. Okay. Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Okay, it's on Amazon. That's good. That's good. So I want to, at this point, tell people out there. So the book is titled, is self-styled. It's titled Adenike. Look out for it. It's a good read, actually. Just look out for it. So you love her. It's as though that you decided to leave with a
it's
blast.
On BAM. Sorry, someone is asking. It's on BAM Books. It's on Okada Books. Okay. It's on Amazon. Okay. It's on
Good. So in few seconds, Adenike, share with me an experience. So I read up somewhere your sense of adventure. You climbed Oluma Rock.
My brother, it's money that is stifling this adventure. We need money to do international adventure.
So you climbed Oluma Rock and you got to the peak. Just in few seconds. Yes. How was that? Just in few seconds.
Accelerating, one of the highest points of my entire life. That experience to people around me was just me getting to the top, but from that moment upwards, it changed the trajectory of who I saw myself as being in my head and through my mind's eyes. That climbing Oluma Rock still tops one of the best decisions I have ever made. For me, I'm coming to Brazil. I've been saying I'm coming to Brazil, and I mean it this time.
Okay.
So I think that Oluma Rock was pivotal to who I am daily becoming. Oluma Rock continues to show its head occasionally, and I think that it's a good thing for me because it reminds me of the possibilities that exist once I put my mind to doing anything. So yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. I like the way you just dropped it there. What kind of adventure are you thinking about? Bungee, jumping? What kind of adventure are you thinking about next?
My brother, I wanted to go to Obudu Cattle Ranch next month, but because of coronavirus and how it is still in the air, my family members have said that I should not even bother. So I may not go.
I concur.
I know, right? I may not go, but I think that one place around me, this Lekki Arts Market, Tinuke, let's go to Lekki Arts Market. I still haven't been there. I have gone to Nike Art Gallery, but I haven't entered. I haven't been in Nike Art Gallery. I've just been around it and outside. So I want to do that. I also, there's no adventure this year, so unfortunately, yeah. Until next, I'm fearing coronavirus. I'm sorry.
It's what to be feared, though. So in few seconds also, we're winding down right now. It's been a huge ride on this show today. In fact, today, I can see the number of people who are here and the comments are flowing. We thank you, everyone. We both of us, we want to thank everyone who joined us. We appreciate you for joining. Yeah, we appreciate you. So you are an on-air personality.
Yes.
And I hear, online, while, doing your radio thing, you you do free legal counseling, or you give out free legal counsels on air. Just in a few seconds, tell us about being on radio, what that has done for you and what it has allowed you to do for other people. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so interestingly enough, I took a ride yesterday and I was on the phone and I just noticed that the driver kept looking back. Now, case in point, I haven't been actively on radio since 2018. However, I have been doing a few things with Smooth FM consistently for well over a year now, weekly. And so that has just been my radio presence from then up until now. So after a few minutes, the man goes, "Are you Adenike?" I knew it. I'm like, no. The first thing I said is, 2 years after, I'm on a call and somebody still identifies my voice. And the next question, the sentence the man made was, "Do you still love food?" And I said, "No, I not only love food, but now I see myself even making
now
more
I
food."
know. You mentioned it earlier.
Honestly speaking. So what that does to me is to tell me again the power that radio has. No matter how much technology seems to be growing and this, here in Nigeria, until internet access is completely and totally reduced, radio is still the #1 means of communication in Nigeria. And we will continue to see that because it doesn't look like internet is reducing, internet's cost is reducing in maybe 2-3 years. Who knows, something might happen in a year or a year and a half. But radio afforded me the opportunity to show who it is that I am to the world. I miss radio. I have made a few attempts at coming back, but they are just I'm not giving it, I'm not foreclosing the possibility. Looking at another option. Let's hope that everybody, all parties involved, can benefit amicably from the relationship. So radio is awesome.
Adenike, let me ask you this before, this might be the last question or the whatever. I want to ask you, I'm very curious to know, how does mommy and daddy feel about you right now?
They are exhilarated, they are proud, they are amazing. They don't have, like, I don't think they express, particularly my mom, I don't think she expresses how proud of me she is. But imagine someone sending me an Instagram message to say, "Oh, I was with your mom today at an event," and she was just going on and on about you. And I think that was the first time I actually messaged her that the pride that you express to people, you don't even share with me. And that was the first time, she talked about how proud she is of me, how my parents are completely and utterly proud of me. And I feel like on days where I do not know what is going on, I remember the pride in me that they express, and I think that just wells me up. So yes. Yeah.
I can imagine. Because if we look back at how it all started, because I remember I saw a few stories mention of how daddy was really devastated when this sort of thing happened. So I can imagine the relief he's feeling right now. In fact, seeing you, doing.
I'm living his dream because he actually retired in media. So I'm living a different version of what he did. Yes, he used to work incidentally on radio at FRCN. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, Adenike.
Any other question?
I want to tell you that we have to end it here so that we don't get caught up. So that we have a good package, because we're going to repurpose this on our. So the thing is this. Let me say this here. Just expect me to bring you. I mean, it's allowed. So we'll do a follow up to all of what we've done today, because there is more to talk about, and I know you have more to share. Really, honestly, I can see the look on your face.
I talk too much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for all my people who have joined. I'm trying to read the messages to Ada. The interesting thing about it, Ada, is this morning I was cleaning the sandal you bought for me. I'm due for another one. So thank you to everyone. Remy, all the way from Brazil. LV, Doki from Atlanta. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Iyke, for having me. I'm truly honored. And yes, you can always slide into my DM anytime. Thank you so much.
No problem. That's the permission. I take it. All right, that's interesting. So we'll talk more and more. I'll slide into your day, like you said. We'll talk. We'll share. There's a whole lot I wanted to cover here, but we'll chat. DM and all of that. Thank you very much, and
thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you too, everyone. Love you guys.
Bye-bye. Wow. What a bumper package. I want to thank everyone. At this moment, I want to use the time remaining here to thank everyone. I want to thank Maureen Okere. I want to thank Simi Sola. I want to thank Olabisi Okoro. I want to thank Amaka Chris. I want to thank Tenny Lola. I want to thank Alexi Flexi. I want to thank Siminunu Ola. Everybody. I want to appreciate you for joining. You've made this episode a huge success. Maureen, yes, I love you. Thank you very much for the huge support. I appreciate you, my sister. Simi, I can see you. I appreciate you too. Jojo Shoemade. Yeah, I hope that came out right. Jojo Shoemade, I thank you. Olabisi Okoro, my sweet brother, I thank you. I'm so excited. You can see it on my face. This package, in fact, is so wonderful. And I know we took some. I mean, we have a lot of takeaways from this episode. I mean, I cannot even. There's no gainsaying the fact that there's a lot of takeaways. It's a huge. It's an ample load of information, ample load of education, an ample load of inspiration. I mean, with what I'm seeing here, I don't know the excuse we have. I don't think we have any excuse. If Adenike, with all the odds in her life, all what she went through, what she suffered, today she's living life large. She's living large, living big, and she's inspiring other people. That's the interesting thing. There's something about you focusing on other people, giving them joy, and all of that. She focuses on other people. She on Instagram, there's a whole lot. She does a lot of inspirational stuff on Instagram. You wonder, this person that's saying this, what you can imagine, she's been through a lot, and she's an amputee. Hey, but she's living so positively. That's what I want you to take away from this. No matter what is going on in your life, no matter what the situation is, no matter the challenges you're facing, no matter how tough it is, look, like I said when I started, if life throws lemon at you, make lemonade. I want to drop the anchor there right now because I need to sign out right so that we don't get cut off. I want to appreciate. My name is Iyke Okoro once again. Friends call me Ike. You can call me that too. This has been BIGGISH SHOW, a bumper package. You will agree with me. We're gonna come your way next time. I'm so excited, about this. For me, I took a lot of. There's a lot of huge inspiration, from my guest. I fed off her inspiration. There's a whole lot I got from it, and I know you got a lot of things too. We're gonna end it right here. Keep a date with me next time on this show. Keep supporting, keep encouraging, and I wish you well in all that you do. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you again, Maureen, Olabisi Okoro, Simi. Thank you very much. God bless you. Jojo Shoemade, I thank you so much. I need to go now so I will have a well-rounded package, that I can repurpose on other mediums. Thank you very much. Love you all. Next time. Bye.